So y'all gonna have to forgive me, okay? There's a video that I posted prior about the lady who claimed to be a sovereign citizen in court. Well, that was a part two. I did not realize there was a part one until I came across it came across it. Let's look at it.
That's correct, Judge. She's the mom.
Yeah. All right, you may proceed.
Mr. Habib and Miss Bouvier lived together at the time she was pregnant until Malaya was 2.5 years old. And they lived with the paternal grandmother, Marsha Francis, who's going to be a witness here for this court. After the parties split, Mr. Habib saw Malaya every other weekend, and eventually, Judge, he went on to having every weekday with Malaya. So he was keeping her every week. Mom would have her on the weekend. The last time Mr. Habib saw his daughter was back in March of 2021. And we believe at that time she learned that he had someone else. He was involved with someone else. And they after they split up. So she stopped allowing Mr. Habib to see Malaya. April 14th, immediately following her.
What is this, like a playbook of bitter baby mamas, to where when the guy gets a new boo, it's time to just keep the kids away? That's how it go. Anyway, let's go.
Allow any further visitation. She just disconnected herself from Mr. Habib. She filed a police report April 15th, alleging, and this is why we were back in court last year, Judge, before you, and this came up, and you appointed Miss Giles. On April 15th, there was a report saying that the paternal grandmother was molesting the minor child. That case was closed. It was reopened and subsequently closed by DeKalb County. And then April 14th, almost a year later, exactly, Miss Bouvier also filed a report regarding the same incident and saying that Mr. Habib was the one that was molesting the minor child.
So this seems to be like a new thing for the bitter baby mamas out there. When things don't go their way, or they don't like the new girlfriend, all of a sudden everybody's a molester. You cannot make those type of accusations on people unless they're accurate. You can't do it because you're bitter. This is such a sad situation. First of all, you putting imageries and thoughts and things and situations into your child's head who don't even know what's going on. That's really sick of you to even play those kind of games just because you're not getting what you want. The relationship is over. Get over it. Now you're coaching your kids to say they've been essayed and stuff by family members and everything, or by somebody else, just so you can demonize your baby daddy. It's sick. My personal opinion, if these claims are not found, and these accusations are brought up like that, those women should be in jail. They should, because how mentally sound are you by making these type of accusations that are not proven? I'm not talking about the ones who actually get touched. Okay. And that's the problem. This affects the people who are getting abused out there, who are getting touched inappropriate out there. It affects them. You guys are just saying this because y'all salty, and that ain't right. And that's stupid. This is why I say we got to separate. We got to separate.
Yeah, can you find a stationary place, please? All right, keep going.
Judge, since that time, we Miss Giles,
message in the inbox. I got to pick my daughter up from school.
Now, if y'all have not watched the video before this, please go watch the video. Not the coupon video, but the video before. I said this in the last video. When you're in Zoom court, that's court. It don't matter if it's Zoom. It don't matter if they do it through Snapchat or TikTok. If it's court, you got to stay your butt there. You can't be moving around. You can't be eating chips and snacking and parlaying and driving in the car. You got to be right there front and center like it's real court, because you wouldn't be doing this inside a courthouse. Now, I would say again, she's not following the rules, but this is actually the first time. So Let's go.
So you're going to be in the car at the court hearing?
She gets out of school at 2:20, so
You
I gotta
didn't
pick
make
her up.
arrangements to have someone pick her up?
It's just me.
So
It's
what would you
busy.
do if you were in court? You couldn't leave.
I mean, I would have someone to help me out. I have people that help me.
Exactly. And you got to have people to help you now. Everybody keeps thinking that Zoom allows them to kind of do everything when they want to, like it's every day, but it's not. You still have to be in court.
I didn't know it was last this long.
Yeah, it said all day. It's an all day hearing.
I can take her somewhere though.
All right, go ahead and proceed.
Judge, since that time, so there were 2 investigations that were open with DeKalb County Police, and both cases were closed as unfounded. Defects was involved in this case. And my understanding is also that the child was seeing a therapist. There was a forensic interview with the minor child. None of it, the allegations were founded by any of the authorities involved.
So I'm going to say this to save time for a lot of you bitter 304s out there. If you make these type of accusations and claims, you better make sure they're true and they're not from you being salty, because they do have investigators to talk to the child. They'll know if the child's been coached. They can catch the child up in a lie no matter what age. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Catch that tea. Anyway, no matter what age. So you better tread lightly. Tread lightly. Y'all gonna mess around and write a check that your ace can't cash.
Hold on for a second. Miss Bouvier, how are we going to know when you have the child so we can make sure that we're not
discussing
this is the child at issue,
crazy
right?
stuff about the dad?
What was the question? I'm sorry.
The child you're picking up, is that the child at issue here?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So how are you planning on doing this so that she's not involved in the court proceeding?
I'm gonna take her to her grandma's house.
Yeah, but how she listen?
Okay.
It's not gonna work. You got to find somebody. We can't. I don't know how long that's going to take her to her grandmother's house, but I know we can't be in the car and everybody's quiet to 30 minutes for you to take the drive. I know that we can't do that.
And she looking like she made the mistake.
Grandma's house.
Oh
Yeah, this is going to be a problem because financially, that means that people are waiting and somebody's got to pay Miss Fuller's bill.
Not
And it's you, and you're the one that's causing the delay.
wait, I'm not going to my
And I don't know what to say. At the beginning of every call, I asked Miss Marshall to let everybody know it's going to be all day and that you cannot proceed like you're in your regular day. I do that at the beginning of all calls. Were you not on the call at the beginning of the day?
Yeah, I didn't know that. I'm sorry. I did
Girl.
not know that.
I'm going to grandma's house. In the grandma house.
Right.
Can I go ahead and
no.
start on that?
Start on what?
I can put an earphone in my ear.
All right, do that.
Come on, girl. Come on.
And the judge was definitely gracious for that because
Come on.
I'm gonna skip it. Eventually she goes to the grandma house. You guys go to our content creator name is KLF if you want to watch the full video, but I'm just gonna scroll to where they talk about the accusations.
I think the last thing I said was 2 days after Miss Bouvier heard that Mr. Habib had moved on, that there was a police report filed. And the first police report back in April 15th of 2021 was the police report against the paternal grandmother, Marsha Francis, alleging that she had molested Malaya. And again, that was unfounded. And then there was a second police report filed a year later April 14th, 2022. That was against Mr. Habib, and that was also unfounded. And Judge, you asked for the guardian to be appointed at the May hearing last year to investigate the child molestation in the best interest of the child. And coming forward, Judge, Mr. Habib was arrested. He's in custody on a violation of probation matter in Rockdale County. He is serving a 6-month sentence on the RSAT program. He's expected to be released, I think it's August of 2023. And he comes from a home, Judge, very supportive, very loving family. And they've all, since Malia was born, all supported Malia. She's very well aware of who her family members are, very attached to her grandmother, who, in fact, kept her for a year after she was born by herself. And so there's a strong established relationship between them. There is a child support order for 251 through the agency, Judge. So child support has been established and that's being paid currently. Let's see what else is there. The evidence we expect to show today, Judge, is that Mr. Habib is a fit and proper parent. He's very loving, had a very close connection and bond with Malaya. That was severed dramatically, actually, back in March of 2021. He financially supported her, and at some point, Miss Bouvier was allowing Mr. Habib to have Malaya Monday through Friday of every week, and she would have her on the weekends. And that was established by the parties themselves. We're asking that the child be legitimated. We're asking for joint legal custody, and we're asking the court to set up a parenting time regarding every other weekend. Now, the fact that Mr. Habib is in custody, Judge, we're asking that his mother, who the child is well aware of, very accustomed to, she speaks with Mr. Habib via video daily. So we're asking that Miss Francis, who is a paternal grandmother of the child, be allowed to have the visitation pattern.
No, we're not gonna be able to do that. No, is she connected to the case?
No, Judge.
Yeah, we can't do that.
Yes, she is. Sorry.
I'm sorry?
She is connected to the case. She is the one that my daughter said molested her.
Girl.
And sodomized her.
Okay, that's not what I meant. What I was asking was, did she have a request for grandparent visitation? If she doesn't have a request for grandparent visitation, I'm not going to grant it in that way. So
that's fine, Judge. And so we expect our case to show that we're asking for legitimation, joint legal custody, and established parenting time, Judge, to be presented to this court.
All right, Ms. Bouvier.
All right. I have an issue with the child molestation. No communication. They don't communicate at all. The incarceration. This is his third time being incarcerated for. I know 2 times it was for drug related. I don't know if this is what my daughter has to look forward to. I don't know what's going on with Mr. Habib, but he has not attempted to call her within these 2 years. Next month will make 2 years that he hasn't even called her on her birthday to say happy birthday, or had a friend or a family member to call. Since he has so much helping and supportive family, maybe they could be supportive towards Malaya as well, instead of, acting like she don't exist. Nobody has called to check on her or anything. So to me, it doesn't seem like they want to even be in her life or her.
I mean, they're going to court behind this. What other proof do you need that they want it? It seemed like you're the issue. If a man has to go to court to legitimize and ask requests to the court because you're not giving it to him, it's probably because the
Her life, I don't know why they're even doing the legitimation. They did it I think it was 4 months after everything that happened with the case for the sexual sodomy and
Girl, calm
This has been a lot to go through, being a single mother and taking care of my child by myself. Mario doesn't even pay his child support on time. He's behind in May. He didn't even pay in May. He's not even trying to help. He's not even trying to show up and show Malay that he's here for her. He's not showing her that he's here. He's not being responsible at all. So I don't know, like, what you guys are gonna do with this case, but I have her in school. I'm doing everything that I need to do to be the responsible parent that I've been ever since.
So the captioner put, wait, May, this hearing is in March. Probably just understandably flustered and misspoke. I'm not about to cave for her. She said May, and this happened in March. We just go keep it how she said it.
So I have let me see. The last time Malaya was over there, and another thing, the last time Malaya was over there, her grandmother had her in a soaking wet diaper with feces as well. And my daughter had a rash. Every time she did stay over there, she got rashes. And then when I brought her home to change her diaper that they did not clean, she had a busted lip. So I called her and asked her what happened to her. And she said she fell down the stairs. But she never told me. These people don't communicate with me. How would I know what's going on with my child if they don't even communicate?
Where are the pictures? Where's the police reports? Where's the evidence that you're saying? You're just saying stuff. You can't go to court without some type of paperwork or something attached to it. Right now, you just talking.
How old is the child?
She's 5.
And how old
Now-
was she when the alleged molestation took place?
She was 3. She was just learning about good touch, bad touch at school. This is the reason she decided to come out and tell me that. I have a recording in there of her saying that her nana stuck her fingers in her butt. That's so rude. Why would my child make something up like that? Why would she just say something like that? This is a 3-year-old child. Where's this coming from? I have
Does the 3-year-old know how to wipe herself?
She does. At that time, no.
Okay. Is that a possibility that she was wiping herself?
She said that was so rude. Why would she say that?
Okay.
So when the judge says something logical, like maybe she was wiping her butt with the fingers and she didn't understand, but she was trying to get that stuff out your butt. If you have a 3-year-old, you already know. Them kids, they don't wipe themselves, okay? But the judge brings some sense and some logic to it. You can tell by the way the woman looks in her face, the light bulb came on, but that would be just too simple. No, let's just accuse them of unnecessary stuff. Let's do that.
All right. Anything else, Ms. Bouvier?
Yes. Mrs. Francis, they say that Jamaicans lick the picnic. What does that mean? This is what, okay, so the first time that all of this stuff came up, CPS came to their house. The grandmother called me and she said she was trying to ask me about my court case that had nothing to do with what Mrs. Francis did to my child. And so I was like, hey, really what we're talking here about is the CPS coming to your house instead of me and my court date. And so she was like, I didn't want to get upset, but the real reason why I had called you is because they came over here and I didn't want to get upset. So I'll just tell you that Malaya said that she had a penis one time. And I'm like, why wouldn't you tell me this a long time ago? Why are you just now telling me this now?
Who are you talking about?
Mrs. Alpha Small. And
who is she talking about and what is she talking about? She just saying stuff. The judge looked like what? Everybody just, oh Lord.
And that's when they first started saying Jamaicans lick the picnic. So I guess what they're saying.
Who is they?
Mario said Jamaicans lick the picnic. Mrs. Alpha Small said the Jamaicans lick the picnic. What they're meaning is Jamaicans hit the picnic. So when my daughter said,
what's a picnic?
Picnic is a child in Jamaican. That's what they say. It means child.
A picnic.
Picnic's child. They call a child a kid a picnic. So they saying Jamaicans lick the picnic like they pop them. So I'm saying, why would she say Nana licked me in my butt when she pointed to her vagina? Why would she pop her in her vagina? That doesn't make any sense. Either way they're trying to spin this story, it doesn't.
Girl, nothing you just said made sense at all. Did anybody in the please post in the comments? Did any of that make sense to you? Could you figure that out? Let me know.
Make any sense. It doesn't tell the truth.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm concerned about my daughter. I'm concerned about especially her seeing my daughter after all of this stuff happened. My daughter has been through counseling. I've been through counseling. And she's been through counseling since she turned 4. She had to wait until she was 4 in order to get into counseling because they didn't take kids older than 4. So we've been going through a lot. And these people are not even trying to call and check on her and let her know they care about her.
Why would you want the same people that you're sitting here claiming touched her inappropriately to call her and tell her that they care? Does this make any sense? Like, if you truly believe that that was factual, why would you want these people to call at all to tell your daughter that they care or show that they care at all? You would, you know what?
They have not attempted. The only thing he does, he go on Facebook and talk about me like a dog. Like I'm keeping her from him, and I'm not keeping her from him. I never said that I'm going to keep you from your child. But all of this is going on.
You're not supposed to talk to the opposite party. You're supposed to only keep it cute with the judge or whoever's questioning you and asking you questions. You are not supposed to talk to the opposite party. She's steady trying to talk to this man. Lord.
A lot that's going on.
All right. Thank you. I'm going to call Ms. Giles as court witness.
Yes, Your Honor.
Please wait. Oh, well, you're officer of the court. Can you give me background and tell me what's going on?
Yeah, I was appointed last summer through DVLF. When I started the investigation, Mr. Habib had not yet been taken into custody. I met with him via Zoom. He was very forthcoming with the information, explained what was going on, the background. It is true, it's been said, there was this 2-year period where Mr. Habib had not seen Malaya. That was precipitated by these allegations of abuse. The allegations of abuse, they have sort of changed their tune based on the police reports I have seen. Each time there's some other allegation, it might be a little different or just hadn't been mentioned before. The police did a forensic evaluation of the child. I know Ms. Bouvier had tried to reopen the police case at least once. The police closed it the first time, tried to reopen it again. I understand the police closed it again. DFACS was involved. They also closed their case. So none of the allegations were founded allegations as far as the sexual abuse allegations against either Mr. Habib or his mother, Marsha Francis. I also, when I first got appointed, I reached out to both of the parties, Mr. Habib and Ms. Bouvier, to 1, fill out questionnaires for me, and 2, set up that initial meeting with me so we could go over other questions and I could just gather some more information. Mr. Habib was the easier of the 2 parties to communicate with and was very prompt in scheduling an appointment with me and getting me that questionnaire, which was helpful. I did have to chase down Ms. Bouvier to get that information. And you'll see in my Guardian report, that is why there was so much time in between my Zoom meeting with Mr. Habib and my Zoom meeting with Ms. Bouvier. I never did get Ms. Bouvier's questionnaire. So some of the information that I have for Mr. Habib, I just don't have for Ms. Bouvier because it was never returned to me. Regardless, during the investigation, when Mr. Habib was taken into custody, I was in communication with Ms. Fuller about what kind of sentencing he might be looking at to get a better idea of, what we are looking at. I do agree with what Ms. Fuller said, that Mr. Habib did have a special bond with Malaya. They were bonded. They had from what I can tell and the information I've been given, a good father-daughter relationship prior to this 2-year cutoff when Mr. Habib no longer saw Malaya. I do believe also, based on the information that I have found that Malaya was very bonded with Mr. Habib's extended family, Miss Frances, her mother, the stepfather, and some siblings. I think that relationship was also very strong there. You know, I do think it's unfortunate, you know, the investigation got derailed, more or less, for a better phrase, because of the incarceration of Mr. Habib. There is one parent that is currently not in prison. I mean, and that is the parent I have recommended to have primary custody. I have recommended that Mr. Habib, once he is released from incarceration, gets the first, third, and fifth weekends of every month. There's an alternating holiday schedule I drafted in my proposed parenting plan. I have put in place a joint legal custodial arrangement with final decision making to Ms. Bouvier. And just so the court knows, I chose the first, third, and fifth to be very specific. These parties need to be very specific. Their communication is horrible. They both show poor judgment. We need to be able to schedule this out on a calendar so they're not coming back to the court and wasting the court's time with contempt after contempt.
Mm-hmm.
And I was also very specific. That is the reason I was very specific in my summer recommendation. And what I did with my summer recommendation is specify the weeks that Mr. Habib is to have. I don't believe these parties are capable of discussing with productivity dates as we normally do with, you can have 2 weeks of uninterrupted time. It's going to be a mess. And so I specified what weeks dad could have each summer. So there was no back and forth with the parents.
All right, so that's the guardian. That's the person who has to get involved when the parents cannot communicate, can't talk, can't do anything, right? So as you see, it's still not working, because if you look at part 2, which was posted before, and she got held in contempt because she just wasn't following orders, she not listening to nobody. So he ended up getting out, but wait, there's more. There's a part 3. Let me let y'all listen to a little bit of this. If you want to watch the rest of it, go to KLF.
I think what Ms. Bouvier is trying to establish is that there's some foul play going on at the house, but there's no evidence. I've looked at this case. Ms. Giles have looked at this case. The police have looked at it. And for her to come on today and still say these things makes me wonder, Judge, if I shouldn't have done a psychological evaluation in this case, because she has no reason for it, but she's still insisting on it, which means that she's never going to allow Mr. Habib or his mom or the people that loves this little girl to have a role in their lives. And it's disturbing.
Okay.
I would never touch my daughter. I would never do anything like it. London told me about her being a child and told me about her uncle or one of her family members touching her, and she knows how I felt about it. It would hurt me to know that a family member could even touch their own family member like that. So it hurt me very much. So the fact that she brought these cases up to us makes me not even believe that she was molested as a child anymore, because she's lying through her teeth about all of that. None of us have ever touched Malaya improperly. We've never taught Malaya anything improper. None of that.
And that should be addressed too, because if you talking about uncles and stuff did that to you, and now you putting that on your daughter, I don't even know if that's true or not. I'm not saying it's a lie, but I'm just saying, even if it is true, if it's false, whatever it is, that needs to be addressed on somebody's couch. Seriously, I'm not even joking.
Who molested her as a child?
She told me, London VA told me that one of her uncles molested her as a child. I believed it, and I even took it up. Like when we went to Florida to meet her family, she didn't even want to meet her family.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, all right. I see what you're saying. You're saying you don't believe London,
yes,
because of the allegation that she's holding against the child. Okay,
yeah.
That's not necessary. We don't need to go there. What's the next issue? What's your next question, Ms. Bouvier?
As far as Malaya go, when was the last time, or how, do you have a call log for how many times you tried to contact Malaya?
I'm pretty sure I can find one, but I've changed phones 2 or 3 times since then because I've broken a couple of phones. My phones always end up shattered, their screens messed up, so I had to change my phones.
Well, what about your family?
I'm sure I have some type of contact somewhere to show that I've tried to contact you. I've tried to call you on WhatsApp multiple times. I've tried to call your regular phone multiple times. And every time we do get in contact, matter of fact, ma'am, the lady that she calls her grandma, I'm not sure if it's the same lady that she's calling Malaya's grandma. Her name is Terosa Ingram. I've spoke to me and Rosa Ingram. I went to her house one day, like at least a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. And Rosa Ingram was sitting right next to me when she told me. I told Rosa about the whole situation. She already knew about the situation. I asked her, I was like, London never answers the phone, and I'm there when I call her or anything like that. So I called her in front of her supposedly godmother. Rosa Ingram had to call her from her own phone and tell her, I'm standing right here with Romario. Answer the phone, because she let the phone go straight to voicemail the first time. Until Rosa called her and told her to answer the phone because she's standing there next to me, she didn't answer the phone.
That's not true.
Okay. Next question.
As far as your family, you say they tried to call too, and then you said it was WhatsApp too. You do know that's an app, right? Not actually my number.
Your phone number is connected to WhatsApp, and you've talked to us multiple times through WhatsApp. That's how we got pictures.
No, I always talk to you on my regular phone. So why wouldn't you call the regular phone number? Why would you call a WhatsApp an
She
app?
said questions.
Because you're saying that you've been trying to get in contact with her and you haven't. So I'm asking, why would you call a WhatsApp number instead of an actual regular number that you know
called your regular number and you
is
don't
my
answer
number?
the phone? You called your regular number and you didn't answer the phone. We've called WhatsApp and you answered multiple times. You've answered on both of those devices, on both of those. So
I see you like making stuff up, but this is a real life at stake. I don't think you should really play with Malea's life like that. You
Okay,
really...
no comments. Just ask questions. You'll get a chance to speak when it's your time to be questioned. Right now, Mr. Habib.
Okay, when was the last time you reached out to Malea?
every time I tried to call your phone, that was me reaching out to Malaya. I wasn't trying to talk to you about him. I was trying to talk to Malaya. All of the times when I stopped reaching out after we started this legitimation case, because I know I was already accustomed to you cursing everybody out, arguing every time. I'm tired of arguing with you, London. Every time I've ever talked to you before that, it was about Malaya, never about you.
You can hold me to that all you want, but I was just asking you, when was the last time you called your daughter?
The last time I called you.
I think he's already tried to answer that question. Move on to another one.
He tried to answer that question?
Yes, before
yes, ma'am. He's already told you don't pick up. That's what he said.
That's not true.
Yes, I understand that, but he answered the question. What's your next question?
A year ago, 2 years ago, when was the last time he tried to communicate with her is what I'm asking.
You mean the date?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I don't remember an exact date. I don't remember an exact date, but that's why I told her once we filed for legitimation, I stopped trying to contact her because we knew there was no way to get through to her without having arguments and confrontation, right?
But you are aware of my number though, right?
Girl.
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that. That's all the questions I have, Your Honor.
Okay. Any follow-up, Ms. Fuller?
No follow-up, Judge.
Any additional witnesses?
Judge, I'm going to call Ms. Bouvier for purposes of cross.
All right, and Ms. Bouvier, now they're going to question you on cross-examination. Go ahead, Ms. Fuller.
Thank you, Judge. Ms. Bouvier.
You got to be able to see your face. All right, go ahead.
Ms. Bouvier, you heard Ms. Giles's recommendation to the court regarding the parenting plan. Did you hear that?
I did.
Okay. Are you in agreement with the parenting plan and the schedule as outlined by Ms. Giles?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Did you submit a proposed parenting plan to the court?
I did.
Okay. And what were you suggesting that would be a proper schedule? Because you said you're saying two things that I'm trying to clarify for the court what you're trying to get done. On one hand, you're saying he hasn't reached out to her, she hasn't done these things, but on the other hand, you're saying you don't want him to have contact. Do you want Mr. Habib to have contact with Malaya?
I don't think it's safe for him to have contact.
Okay.
I don't think she's safe, and I don't think she's safe with him. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, I'm confused. 1 second. Now I'm confused.
Okay.
I thought you specifically indicated that you had not kept the child from him and that the child was always available to him. And now you're saying that you don't want the child with him, which I'm confused now. Which one is it?
So, Your Honor, how exactly do you keep a child away from someone?
Like you're doing.
Do you like not answer?
I'm asking you this question. You said that you had not kept the child away from him and that you wanted the child to be involved, you wanted him involved in the child's life, you specifically said, I want him to be involved in my child's life. I want him to have contact with her. You said that 45 minutes ago.
Yeah,
And
but
now
listen,
you're saying you don't want him. I'm confused. Where's the distinction that you're making?
what I told you was that I was the only one that was keeping contact with them. That was before I found out all about this child molestation and all this stuff.
Ma'am, that
The only one keeping contact with
no, ma'am. You're confused. Okay. I specifically asked you time frames. When I'm taking notes, I'm asking you time frames. You said that you, with regard to him, that you would not keep this man away from his child. You said those things, and that's the reason why I let Miss Giles go, because she was the court's witness, because I didn't think there was any more issues, because you said that you would never keep this child from her dad. When you said that, that took away all the issues, and I let Miss Giles go. Now you're telling me that you do have an issue.
Ooh, child. The ghetto.
Do you want me to show you what you want me to read back what you said?
Your Honor,
because that's exactly what you said.
Your Honor, she hasn't seen him in over 2 years. And then on top of that, this child molestation, we haven't even really talked about all this stuff.
Ma'am,
my God.
So let me ask you this. Did you not say that you would never keep the child from her dad? Did you not say that?
I said I never tried to keep him away from her. That's what I said.
But now you're telling
me I tried to keep him away from her. I never tried to keep him away from her. I was defending myself, telling you guys in the court that I never tried. You can go read the script. I never tried to keep him away from her. I never not answered a call because he never called me. I was the only one calling.
Well, why would you call him if you had never intended for them to be together?
I didn't have nobody to keep my baby, and I was trying to get him to keep his child, and he wouldn't even let me. He wouldn't even keep her.
Miss Bouvier, tell me this. Why would you call the person that you think is molesting your child to keep your child?
This was way before I found out about that. This was way before I found out about that. We found out about that in March of 21. This is 23 right now.
So in March of 21, you were keeping him from her.
19.
And
21 is 2 years later.
So 2 years later, now your position is you don't want him around her.
Yeah, I don't know what happened between Marsha and my daughter. I don't know what she did to him. I don't know what she did to her.
What about him? I thought you said he molested her.
He taught her how to do some sexual things. And on top of that, I have talked to him about it twice. And he always hung up the phone in my face. He never tries to talk to me about anything. This case has not even been solved. Nobody has talked to me about anything. Marsha called my lawyer to tell him to call me and cancel the case, whether it's true or not. Before she never even called me. But she called my lawyer to tell him to tell me to cancel the case.
I'm going to ask you 5 questions. Okay.
Okay.
And I need for you to answer them succinctly, and remember that this is going to be your position. It won't change again. Okay.
Okay.
Why are you moving?
Moving because it's cold out here.
Okay. Where are you going so you can get someplace in
the sun?
Okay. Tell me when you're where you're supposed to be.
Right now.
Okay. Right. All right. 1, is it your position that Mr. Habib should not be around his daughter as you speak right now?
Is it my position? What you mean by that?
Okay, I'm done. All right, I'm done with this case. I don't know what's going on here, but something's not right. Something's not right.
Your Honor, could I say something?
No.
Yes.
Your Honor, this is what I had to go through every time I called her. This is exactly what happened. This is after what she's talking about from March when she's saying she found out about whatever allegations. She's the one that made the allegations in March, right after. We met her, my baby mom at the time right now met her, wanted to meet her. And we met around right before all these allegations started. We met early March before she had the baby. She had the baby April 2nd. Early March, right before my
you
girlfriend
baby
had the baby. That's when she
mama.
met her. And right after she met her, within the next day, she called me back telling me, oh, she was jealous and that she thought that she was gonna have a chance with me again, and that she thought that I was just gonna go have fun and come back. And then every time after she made these allegations and I tried to reach out to her, it always went to this. No, we're not gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about what you did to my daughter, what your mom did to my daughter, this, that, this. And I'm like, London, you've had CPS, the Cobb County, and the child services do all these investigations, nothing came back. And every single time, man, when I tried to call her, this is what it went to. And that's why I stopped calling her and filed for legitimation.
Wow.
All right.
Wow.
Do you have any concerns about Miss Bouvier's mental health?
Yes, ma'am.
Shit, we all
Okay,
do.
I'm gonna reopen the case. I need a mental health evaluation done. Miss Bouvier, I'm gonna do a mental health evaluation on you. Okay.
What about they've been taking me through a lot for a long time, and I've been taking care of my child on my own, and they're still being dishonest, even right now.
I gotta figure out what's going on. Okay.
Agree.
You're
I agree.
inconsistent. You're inconsistent with your testimony. You're all over the place. I don't even know what I don't, as I've been on the call with you guys for an hour now, and I have no clue what your position is. And when I ask you a direct question, you can't get it answered. Okay. I don't know what's going on, but we're going to find out. Okay. You're going to have Miss Gall is going to reach back out to you, and we're going to figure out what's going on, because now I'm concerned.
We all are. Go on.
You concerned about me because I'm saying that I don't feel comfortable with her giving him 2 weeks out of the month?
No, I'm
That's
concerned
concerned
about your
about?
I'm concerned about your overall presentation.
Huh?
I'm concerned about your overall presentation. You're inconsistent. You're saying one thing and 5 minutes later, you're saying something else. You're inconsistent. It doesn't match.
What's not
And
matching?
Girl,
what you're
nothing.
saying isn't matching. It
What part
doesn't
of-
match up.
Everything.
Listen, Miss Bouvier, I don't know you. Okay. I don't know Miss Francis. I don't know Miss Tabib. I don't know Miss Fuller very well. I do know Miss Giles. And I'm telling you, I've been on the phone with you for an hour. I've been doing this for 15 years. And what you're saying worries me.
Hello.
Because it doesn't make sense.
At all.
I agree, Judge. If you look at the police reports, a year apart, they're describing the same exact instance in two different ways. And that's how we have a report against Miss Francis. And from that same instance, she derived a report against Mr. Habib a year later. And that's the same sort of confusion we've had to deal with.
Yeah, I want a full report.
Okay. I would rather have everything out too. I feel like this is kind of slapped together to do this as a final. And I still don't have any answers about what happened to my daughter. So I'm very concerned about that.
Girl. Yeah, get that
Right.
immediate.
We all are.
Because
Something is not right. Okay.
Yes.
Judge, can I move? I agree with you, Your Honor. Can I move the court to enter an order for legitimation? And
yes.
Thank you.
I'll enter the order for legitimation. I'm going to bring Ms. Giles back. We're going to have to do a full mental health. Let's see if we can do a full mental health evaluation for Ms. Bouvier, because I need to figure out what's going on. But Ms. Bouvier, your stories are changing, and I don't like it. What school does she attend?
Marlboro Traditional Theme School.
And what kind of grades did she get there?
She's in pre-K. She's very smart. She's actually one of the kids that like to take initiative and take over the class. She's very funny. She loves her dad. I don't talk bad about him the way he talks bad about me. But yeah,
She just said the girl don't know him. You know what?
I would really like to thoroughly go through this case because
We're not thoroughly going through the case. We're trying to figure out your mental health.
okay.
And with that, Judge, there's a recent phone call to Miss Marsha Francis's home on their home phone, where the child calls and said, obviously using the mom's phone, saying, "Where are you? I miss you. You haven't spoken to me in a long time. I want to hear from you." Clearly using, it was Miss Bouvier's voice in the background. So this is all very confusing. So Judge, I totally agree with the court
What?
in needing clarification.
Please.
All right, but in the interim, we'll do a temporary order in the interim. But I mean, well, I guess it wouldn't matter. Mr. Beebe is in custody. Won't be in custody to 8 August.
Okay.
In that interim, though, we can look and try to get this mental health evaluation done. And then I'll reinstate Ms. Giles. And also, but we'll do a legitimation at this time as well. You can send that over.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that was it. Now, this was before part 2, which was in the back. Okay. It was only 10 minutes long because y'all saw Miss Bouvier's attitude. She didn't want to talk. She would snap her neck and stuff. And she just had an attitude. Then I believe in that video, the mental health evaluation never happened. She never got it done yet. So we still waiting. This is 2023. This was last year. Oh man. All right, y'all. I'm gonna have part 3 out because there's still more to this and there's still more mess to this in the end. But as you heard what he said everything was cool. She was letting him see the child until he got another girl pregnant. Man, I don't know what it is. She said she was hurt, and that he thought he was just gonna have fun and come back. He had fun, all right. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this mess in the comments. Oh man, I don't have no words.
We in a no hyena zone.
Anti-hyena zone. It's my hyena zone.